guys, and welcome back. I'm so sorry it's been a while, but I have been busy. Life has just kind of taken over and I haven't had a little bit of time for myself to sit down and film a video, but today I have a few minutes. Amira is trying to sleep, so if you hear her, that's okay. But I thought today I would kind of do a follow-on from my last video about raising kids as a Muslim revert, but kind of do a Q&A about just life in general, being a Muslim revert, having kids, how I'm raising them, the challenges, the benefits, all of that I will include today, so I hope you enjoy. Teaching my children about Islam from a young age is, I feel like, the most important thing you can do, because if you don't instill those ideas and beliefs and everything from when they're young, when they get older, they're going to be like, well, you never told me about this years ago, so why are you only just telling me now? And one of the things that we have done with both girls is telling them the kalma multiple times a day. Nisa loves to tell Amira, and just kind of starting with that basic, like just doing that as when they're young. And then as they start to get older and they're getting more interested in books, I mentioned in my last video that we do have a few Islamic books that we like to read, or if I'm just making up a story for Nisa at bedtime, I will twist the story a little bit to have Islamic values and things like this. Like, for example, last night when I was putting her to bed, she wanted to have a story about a cat and a wolf. I don't know, she's a toddler, she makes up the most craziest stories that she wants every single night. So last night was a cat and a wolf, and basically the cat went into the forest, she got lost, the wolf told her, you need to have belief in Allah, you need to pray to him, make dua, he will guide you back out of the forest and you'll come home safely to your parents. It doesn't matter, you're okay, just believe in Allah. So just kind of adding those features into her stories is a really good way, and obviously we would do the same with Amira once she starts understanding more things. However, we will read the Islamic stories to her as she is getting older. I would say, as a parent, the two most important Islamic values that I really want to instill in the girls early on is kindness and being truthful, because I feel like the world these days is so hurtful and can be so harmful that I just want the girls to be kind to everyone, whether they're the same religion, different religion, if they're living a complete total opposite life to what they are, I still want them to be kind to them, because I feel like, yeah, the world right now is currently crazy and there's a lot of hate. Even online there is so much hate at the moment, especially over on TikTok, and it's just kind of crazy. And obviously I want the girls always to be truthful. I don't want them to lie. I've told Nisa many times, I know you're lying, I need you to tell the truth, because you just have to tell the truth. There is no point in lying, it's not going to get you anywhere, it's just going to make things worse. So always just be truthful. You're never going to get in trouble for telling the truth. I just want you to be truthful about everything. If you accidentally did something wrong, that's okay, just be truthful, we will fix it, it doesn't matter. So that is the definitely the two. Obviously all of the values are really important, but the two that I really want the girls to understand and focus on is, please just be kind and be truthful, because the world is a scary place as it is, and I don't want them to be the reason that somebody else is sad. Just be kind. Balancing motherhood and my own spiritual oh my gosh, why can't I talk? My own spiritual growth is one thing I have really struggled with in the last year, 6 months to a year. And you would have noticed that in the beginning of my YouTube channel I was wearing hijab, and I was very, like, I was always wearing hijab. In my TikToks I was always wearing hijab, and then one day I took it off because I kind of had this like revelation to myself that the only time I was actually putting on hijab is if I was making a video or if I was making a TikTok, and as soon as that was finished I would rip it off basically. I never leave the house in a hijab, and I really have struggled with coming to wear the hijab full time, because obviously as a revert it's not normal for me. Growing up I never wore hijab. Into my like early 20s. Well, I'm still early 20s, I'm about to turn 23, but like, you know, my end of my teen years, I never wore hijab. It was never something that was in my life until I obviously reverted. So it's been almost, I think next year will be 5 years since I've reverted, and I'm still not at a point where I feel comfortable that I can just walk around with hijab on, and it is definitely one thing that I do struggle with. But I've had this conversation with my husband where I've told him I know little bits about everything in Islam, and what I kind of want to really focus on, like from now into next year, is me doing a lot more Islamic study outside of motherhood. Obviously, Nisa is asking me questions, Amira will eventually start asking me questions, and I want to be able to give them an answer without saying, hang on a second, let me Google it, or hang on a second, we have to go ask Baba. Because I want them to think that, I don't want them to think, oh well, my mum doesn't know about anything about our religion, so why should I learn anything? So this is my goal for the end of this year, moving into next year, is I want to just learn more. I actually have a book that I was very kindly gifted that I really want to read. So now that my uni is over at the moment for the rest of the year, I really want to delve deep into that book and start writing, making notes, and just understanding more and doing a lot more research. So that part of like my own spiritual growth and also motherhood and teaching them has been very hard, I'm not gonna lie. But I would like to turn that around and change the things, because next year is Nisa's last year at home before she goes to like primary school. So she'll still be at preschool, like daycare, 3 days a week. But those days that she's at home, I really want to instill all the Islamic knowledge that I possibly can before she goes on to primary school and gets influence from other children, basically. Celebrating Ramadan and Eid with our kids honestly has been like just a regular day for them the last few years, but next year I am going to make a video obviously closer to Ramadan. It's honestly coming up really fast. It's in like probably 2 months, I think it starts the middle of February and it's already the middle of December, so it's about 2 months away. But closer to Ramadan I'll make a video of what I'm doing with them in more depth. But just quickly, next year I will be getting a lot more Islamic books. I'm going to wrap them up. She can open one each day during Ramadan. There'll be like Islamic stories, there'll be like proper teaching books, like why do we do this and why do we do that, why do we believe this, those kind of books, and also just like fun Islamic stories. And then Eid, we always usually go to a friend's house and do Eid, but honestly she just thinks that, like Nisa just thinks we're going to a friend's house to play. She doesn't really understand the concept of Eid, because this year she just turned 3. Yeah, she had her birthday during Ramadan. She's about to have her birthday again during Ramadan next year. So she would have just turned 3 last year. So she didn't really understand the concept of what is Eid. But I do have a book that I'm about to purchase for her to know what Eid is for next year. So obviously Amira, she's still gonna be like 6-7 months. She's gonna have no idea what's going on. So we'll worry about her in 2026 when she's a little bit older and almost 2 and starting to understand a few more things. But Nisa, I'm definitely doing a lot more Eid and Ramadan based activities during the month, and hopefully my energy can keep up with them, because I'm fasting this year after what feels like forever. I didn't fast this year because I was pregnant. Did I fast last year? I must have. I wasn't pregnant then. Yeah. So it's been like 2 years since I fasted, so hopefully my energy can keep up with both of them. I feel like our parenting styles is honestly not that different. Obviously, me and Sahib grew up in very different cultures, very different religions, but now as parents, I feel like we're okay. We kind of understand the same thing. I mean, obviously sometimes he's a little bit of a suck and gives in to Nisa very easily. If I say no, he will probably say yes, but I'm like, one day you need to start being strict with her, because she knows that if I say no, she runs straight to you and you're gonna say yes. So he has assured me that one day he will begin to be strict with her, and then I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably become the suck, because I'll be like, oh Nisa, I'm so sorry baby. So look, parenting wise, we do parent like as a team. I feel like it's very important to parent as a team, and we are very on board in the fact that we want her to know Islamic things, we want to teach her Islamic things, so in that kind of sense we're totally fine. I was going to say my parents. My mother definitely is very supportive of how we want to raise our kids. She's known, sorry you guys, there's a lizard outside and I'm hoping it doesn't come through the door because I might literally scream and run away, but it should be fine. Yes, my mum is very understanding of how we want to raise our kids. She understands that they can't eat pork, they can't eat bacon, you know, all of that stuff. She knows the different emulsifiers in foods that they can't eat, so she's very on board, she's very understanding, thank God, because otherwise I would have no idea what I would do. I would probably go cry in a corner and be like, why is no one understanding me? But no, my mom thankfully is very supportive, and anyone that we do see is also supportive. I mean, they're my children, well, our children, it's not their children, so what can they do? But yes, my mom is very supportive, thankfully. My husband plays a very vital role in teaching Islamic values, Islamic things, everything about Islam to our children, because obviously he has been a Muslim for 31 years, so he knows a lot more than what I do. And I mean, he even teaches me. He's not my dad, he's not like someone who has to teach me, but he does, and I'm very thankful for that. So yes, he's very hands-on with teaching the girls Islamic things, especially prayer. He will pray obviously 5 times a day. If Nisa's around, she loves to quickly put on her little hijab and run here and start praying with him. She will last like 5 seconds, and like she does it in what's that word called? Fast motion. She does it in fast motion. She's like, I'm finished now. But she will sit with him, she will listen to the words. She's even starting to recite the words, like recite what Sahib is saying. So she's learning prayer, and it's just so cute to see them both standing there and praying together. I don't know, it makes my heart melt. And Amira, again, she's so young, she just kind of lies on the prayer mat and Sahib prays like around her. So in that way, he's very hands-on. He teaches them a lot of things, and it's just so cute to see. Managing screen time and the content, Nisa, obviously most of these are going to relate to Nisa just because Amira is so young, but managing screen time and the content that she engages in is honestly not as bad as I thought it would be. Obviously she loves Peppa Pig, but I know many Muslim parents who their kids watch Peppa Pig. Nisa understands very well that she can watch Peppa Pig, but she cannot eat pig. You can't touch pig, you can't eat it. She understands that very well, so we don't really have any stresses about that. But when she was younger, she loved Omar and Hannah, many Muslims. She watches like a lot of Islamic shows, but you know, there's like YouTube shorts. She loves YouTube shorts, but she understands the fact that short clothes are not good. Like if someone is in like, I don't know, t-shirt and shorts or like a bikini or something for whatever reason on YouTube shorts, she will thumbs down them and she'll say, Mummy, this is not good, or Baba, this is not good. And we go, yeah, that's right, Nisa, you put thumbs down and go to the next video. So we do obviously keep an eye on what she's watching just to make sure that everything's fine. Or if I hear something weird, then I'm like, why are you watching that? Like, change that over. But she's very good in the fact that she will just skip a video if she knows that it's not good behavior, if that kind of makes sense. I feel like other revert mums really need to just slow down. You are probably, I mean, unless you've been a revert for like 15 years, you're probably still learning. But if you're like a fresh revert with kids, be patient on yourself. You don't know everything, so you can't expect to teach your children everything. I learned that very quickly when Nisa was asking me all these questions, and I'm like, look, I really do not have an answer for you right now. Mummy's also still learning. We are both like babies in Islam, so let's learn together. And I feel like that's one thing she's really good at. She's like, Mummy, do you know this? And I'm like, no, should we learn about it? And she'll be like, yes, let's learn together. So learn with your children. If you don't know something, find a kid. Honestly, children's videos are so good. They explain it in such a good way that you can understand what it is. And obviously later when the kid is in bed or the kid's playing with something else, you can research a little bit more in depth, but watch the videos with them. The kids like Muslim videos, if they're learning from a video, they're so good. Explaining Islamic concepts to a toddler in a way they understand is honestly not easy at all, because some Islamic concepts are really in-depth and very scientifical and very history-based. So trying to find a way to explain that to a toddler is not easy, because one, their attention span is not long enough to sit there and listen to you babble on about a topic for ages and trying to figure out how to explain it to them so they can understand. And also just trying to simplify such scientific and historical based things, simplifying them to a version that a toddler will understand is not easy. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I use ChatGPT, and I know that ChatGPT doesn't know everything in the world. Like, it's not perfect, it's not gonna give you the right answer all the time, but if I know something already and I need to explain that to Nisa, I will ask ChatGPT, like, how can I explain this to a 3-year-old? What are words that I can use that they will understand? And if it like correlates to what I know, then I will use that to explain to her. But if it's something I don't know, I won't go to ChatGPT first, because I don't know if what they're telling me is right. So if it's something I know, I will use ChatGPT to kind of translate it into a toddler version. But if I don't know what it is, I will wait for Sahib to get home and we can kind of have that discussion of how can I teach Nisa what is this, so I can tell her later. The best way I think to involve children in Islamic practices in daily life is pray with them. We pray 5 times a day. They're probably not awake for the first prayer, but the rest of them they probably are awake for. Pray with them, have them stand next to you while you pray, have them sit next to you while you pray, whatever it looks like for you, just have them close by. Also teaching them to say Bismillah before eating or drinking water, or if Sahib calls, like, well, yeah, if their father calls, whatever, tell them to say Assalamu alaikum, or if the other person says it first, teach them to say Wa alaikum salam. Nisa is now very good at this, she loves it. Or just kind of like teaching them little things about Islam during the day is a good way to just keep it in your daily life. Prayer obviously is number 1. Saying Bismillah for things, or Alhamdulillah, is also a good way. Like, if I give you something, or if something you're thankful for, just say. Or it's hard to think, but I know that we do it every day, but I'm like, what do we even do? Because it's so ingrained in our daily life, I'm like, I can't even think now what we actually do. But prayer definitely is one, Assalamu alaikum is another, Bismillah is a very regular one here. And just teach, or even just modest dressing. Nisa now likes to dress herself, and she's like, look, I don't have any like shorts on, and she gets really excited about it, which is cute. One thing that I wish I knew before becoming a Muslim mum is be prepared for all the questions. Every single question you can think of, be prepared for them. And then also all of the why questions that come after that. Like, Nisa will be like, why do we believe in Allah? Because he is our God and that's who we believe in, and you know, he created us and all this, but why? So just try to be prepared for all of the questions. If you think that there's a question they won't ask, they probably will ask, be prepared for it. But yeah, honestly, I just love being a mom. I love being able to teach them things that they aren't learning at school, because obviously they're not going to an Islamic school, they're not learning these things every single day. So it is up to me and Sahib to teach them at home, and we just love it. But I think that's everything for this video. I answered a few questions. I will definitely, as it gets closer to Ramadan, I will make a more in-depth video of what I'm going to be doing with Nisa during Ramadan to have her learn more about it, and as well as Eid. Obviously Amira's too young, she has no idea what's going on, so I'll make another video. I would love to daily vlog during Ramadan. I'm just trying to think of a way that I can, because you know how like all of the vloggers on YouTube, they vlog up until Christmas and they call it Vlogmas. I want to do that kind of vibe, but in Ramadan. and have all the Islamic fun stuff going on, like stuffing dates, making dinners, making breakfast, because that's what we're having, breakfast and dinner, and just obviously teaching nieces some things along the way. So I will do that definitely as it gets closer to Ramadan, and hopefully put out a few fun Islamic videos during Ramadan as well, which you can watch with your families, with your kids, whatever you like to do. Watch by yourself, I don't care. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back. Okay, I will be back hopefully soon and not have such long gap between videos.